As a child, I loved going to family reunions. Now, if you're a child, you probably think I'm crazy, but my family was so zany and weird that there was always someone to talk to that was so amazing. I remember a family reunion in 1982 when my great-uncle Bob had come over from the coast of Mexico. I hadn't seen him since I was 5 years old, and now I was a full-grown 8-year-old. Even though I'd grown so much, Uncle Bob still somehow recognised me, and we picked up our conversation where we left off those 3 long years ago. You see, at the end of that fateful family reunion 3 years ago, Uncle Bob let slip a shocking revelation: that he used to be a pirate. We'd only had a chance to talk about it for a few moments last time, just a few moments for him to convey how big a secret it was, and that, in fact, if you asked any of the other family members, they would just laugh and say he was just pretending. If that happened, Uncle Bob said, that's proof that what I'm telling is true. I was Captain Larry of the ship named after my friend, Joe King. I questioned the fact that his name was different, and he told me he'd tell me all the tale next time we got together. Each year, I went to the reunion, but he wasn't there, and I'd be let down that I couldn't find out about his pirate days. But now here he was, and I wasted no time. I asked him to tell me about the time he was a pirate. He seemed confused at first, like he'd forgotten a section of his past. Then a smile came across his face and he said, "Arr, I remember now. I think I blocked it out because of the Kraken." "The Kraken?" I said. "Ah, yes, the Kraken," he said. "Pull up a seat, child, while I tell you about me fight with the Kraken." He then told me the most terrifying story I've ever heard. "This, my child, be a cautionary tale. When a man is young, he has a certain sense of adventure, and he feels he is indestructible. I was young, and a captain too, so I was. So when I heard a rumour of a horrendous foul beast just south of me, I couldn't resist. I asked more and more about the creature, and with each tale I was told, it drew me closer to my epic duel with the odious fiend. As time grew, I gleaned more and more information until the picture became clear. Some said it was silent, some said it was deadly, but they all said it was an area to the south called Mibut, and so it got named the Kraken Mibut. I set sail with my hardy crew to the blustery south towards Mibut. We searched long and hard, and the days wore on. Our rations dwindled, and the crew became dishevelled and worn. We were about to turn around and head to port when we heard a deep rumbling. It was the Kraken Mibut. As I looked aft, I saw brown bubbles powering up behind me, and the stench was awful. It was then that I saw it in all its horror. The Kraken Mibut was all brown and hairy. A disgusting smell nearly overpowered us, and we were forced to cover our faces or pass out. There was unsightly bumps all over it, and a wobble or jiggle as it moved, and a gaping chasm which almost split it in two. That was when I realised we had to fight it. We had to silence the Kraken Mibut. "All hands on deck," I shouted, as men drew their swords and pistols and looked upon the gargantuan beast. The men shook with fear just gazing upon it, but I rallied them and said, "Do not fear the Kraken Mibut. It can be tamed, and we shall tame it." Oh, my child, I cannot tell you of the battle. It was too fierce. Needless to say, there wasn't a man standing at the end of it, except me. Alone on the ship next to the Kraken Mibut, I challenged it to a fight to the death. It turned until I was looking directly into the chasm, and as I charged ahead, a tremendous roar coming from the dark centre. It was then that a huge gas explosion came from the Kraken Mibut and blew me 100 feet into the air. I heard someone yell from the deck, "Captain Larry!" But it was too late. The force tore my arms and legs off, and I landed in the water. Luckily, there was a small vessel nearby, and they saw me in the ocean. There I was in the water, with no arms and legs, and since then I've always been known as Bob. The Kraken vanished away, but to this day men still fear the time when the Kraken Mibut will roar again. So I share this tale with you, my child, so you avoid the area and never feel the blast of the Kraken Mibut.